r/antiwork. I am Pomo1 says. They're all panicking about the high rents and lack of control. Included photo. Shappy off things says. Translation. I lack self-discipline and worry I will look weak if I let other people live happier lives. Moldigulabian says. These stupid fricks at the top. It's easy to say shit like this when you don't need the money, b you come in whichever days you feel like, non-rush hour times, c you have your personal driver drive, d company paid car, e you don't have to worry about the maintenance, gas, tolls, f mostly him going to work, is talking on the phone bullshitting, going to the golf course, having lunch at 5-star restaurant, getting a massage, going to see his mistress. Lockflop says. You know his ass don't do shit in the office. Couple meetings, have his assistant go get him sushi, get his suit dry cleaned, go home, and tell his family how hard of a worker he is. TMF88 says. That's on the assumption he doesn't refer to the golf course as the office. Rejecko18 says. That's a weird way to say I don't like my family. The sign of Zeta says. Unfortunately, C-suite is full of narcissistic extroverts who do not understand that other people feel differently than them. Initial Shop 8863 says. Exactly. This. Deadpool Hello Kitty says. Kevin, someday you'll have to go home. You can't live at office and hide from your wife forever. Stalin Wishes says. Kevin, you're a dried up old husk who can get energy only by domineering people face to face. Dom Cabe says. Well, I don't, Kevin. So frick off. Thegainet says. Funny how the only people who have this kind of opinion are the bosses. Beasteth says. What a thing. I like to be in the office, and that's all that matters. Screw what anyone else wants. r/antiwork. Bases are better says. This thread about getting dental work in Tijuana makes me so I'm angry. Richest country ever to exist in the history of humanity, and we can't access affordable healthcare. Tulpa Kingmama says. We don't have a rich country, we have a country that made a few guys rich at our expense. Cosmic00SE says. It is more affordable to book a foreign vacation that includes medical care than it is to get medical care with insurance in America. My hubs and I have done the math over and over. Many of the tests and procedures we need done can be done outside of America for fractions of the price, and we would get a nice vacation as well. Wampus Fails says. Saw someone post a cost analysis between American healthcare and Spanish healthcare. This was years ago, and I'm probably misremembering some details. None of the following, except the mistakes, is mine originally. For the price of hip replacement surgery in the US, you can take a vacation to Spain, get the surgery, recover for months in a decent apartment, learn Spanish, take skiing lessons, break your new hip, get a second replacement, recover, and head back to America. Feral Raindrop says. For your entire life, every necessity, service or need has been acquired by corporate conglomerates controlling prices and squeezing every last cent out of American consumers. From the cradle to the grave, the system in place is designed to take everything you have ever earned. Nevermind04 says. Thanks to Reagan, we aren't the richest country ever to exist. Currently, that's Switzerland. We are a country with several of the wealthiest people in the world that are hell-bent on extracting the tiny fraction of wealth that still belongs to everyone else. However, we do lead the world in bankruptcies per capita and child hunger in the developed world. Fetus wearing a suit says. Currently living in San Diego. My employer actually has an insurance plan for a hospital in Tijuana. Only emergencies are covered in the US, everything else only covered in Tijuana at that specific hospital. I'm from Tijuana, so I personally have no problem with it. I actually had a life-threatening accident many years ago and got treated at that hospital, so I trust it 100%. But I do find it ridiculous that this has to be a thing. r/antiwork. Throwaway bus dude says, got told I should be happy I even got a raise. It'll be transparent as hell here. I work at a school bus yard as the dispatcher. Drivers get paid according to a sliding pay scale of how long they've been here. Brand new drivers get $24.50 an hour. I have enough experience that I would be making $26 an hour as a driver. Instead, I'm making $22 to be an office staff and take on way more. I'm told I get less per hour because I'm guaranteed 40 hours a week year round, while drivers only get 25 to 30 hours a week. The kicker, I have to drive almost every single day if we are short staffed, and I still only get paid $22, even though I'm doing the exact same job as someone else getting more than me. I also just found out I get a 2% raise maximum every year. I was also told I should be happy I got a raise at all because I came in so high on the pay scale. I was originally offered $20 an hour and negotiated $22. Drivers get a 3.5% raise every year regardless of performance. I get a 2% raise only if I earn it. So the longer I work here, the further behind I'll be. I explained to my boss why I was unhappy with a 2% raise. It would take 50 years to double my pay. In the last 50 years, things have more than doubled. So yeah. Every single year I stay here, I'll actually have less buying. Kosk says, do not drive for less than driver pay based on your seniority. If you have a CDLW/school bus endorsements, getting a new job will be easy. Catch Me Falcon 09 says, it's not my responsibility to show appreciating or gratitude as a response for an action that an employer should be doing already. Raising my pay to accommodate the appropriate cost and inflation is the professional and respectful thing to do. It's glaringly obvious you don't value your staff enough to ensure they're compensated fairly. I'll make sure that sentiment reflects on my flexibility and my workload. Don't drive. Tell them if they want you to drive them, they need to adjust your pay during driving hours. Jerabberry38 says, there's some good news. Through the power of compound interest, in reality it will take less than 50 years. It will only take 35 years to double your wage. Joking aside, the wage isn't a deal killer for right now, depending on where you live. But if that's all they are ever going to give for a raise, then the future there is a bit dim. I'd keep my eye out for a better environment too. Atomic Simuraceborg says, you gotta find a new job. You've advocated for yourself, and they are looking to just keep exploiting you. It's bullshit that drivers make more, and you end up driving all time. You should make more than them for having more duties and uncertain ones. And Swerkaki says, if it's any consolation, it wouldn't take 50 years to double your salary because of compound interest. Fixerguy 415 says, darn it all boss, my paycheck and raises say that I'm not qualified to drive. Sorry, I guess I can't use my CDL here. Attack Mit says, so then quit dispatching and work as a driver? Vapor Dude 420 says, it's time to look for a new job. Shappy Off Things says, 2% raise maximum is ludicrous. You need to get FO. r/antiwork. Cyberspine says, do this, then I'll write you up for it. During a team meeting, management asked us to put in any PTO for the remainder of the year as we were approaching our busiest season. Since I was new, 3 months in, I sent an email to my manager saying that, since PTO does not roll over, I would like to take 5 days off over the next 3 months. I had 7 days in my bank. In the email, I stated that I would be fine if they asked me not to take the days off. I was just requesting in the case it was possible, because I was aware I was new and it's our busy season. I received a reply that it was approved and I could submit my request in the system. The request was quickly approved in the system. 3 days later I got a final written warning which the main reason was listed as taking too much time off. When I told them that they had approved it via email and the system, they told me that it's not about that, it's the fact that you are new. I asked if I could just not take the days off and have the final written omitted. They said no. I called some loved ones to give them the heads up that I was quitting, and I walked out. Other reasons in my final written warning: I called someone milliseconds. Last name: when she wanted to be called by her first name, she changed how she liked being addressed a number of times while I worked with her. Guess I messed up once. I wrote unprofessional emails. When I asked what they specifically wanted changed, they said they didn't want to get into specifics. I'm 100% I had never wrote anything unprofessional, so I asked for formal feedback to ensure I didn't do it again. They scrambled and said I didn't break paragraphs up often enough. I didn't want to give my personal number out to everyone in the company, only my direct partners had it. In case of emergency, I asked in return for them to pay for a portion of the bill, per state law, or for them to reach me by my office phone. I sent an email they didn't want me to send. I sent my boss a draft of a legal response, so she didn't have to write it all herself. Just make edits as needed and send. Pulled it up to show her that it was only addressed to her, and how I wrote a message at the top that included "this is a draft for you." After going through all the points, they said it's not really about these points, it's about just signing the final, so we can move on from it. I asked for time to review on my own and sign. They told me to get it to them by the end of the day. Printed out enough email evidence to cover my ass, left my laptop and badge on my desk and moved on. Edit. Formatting. Lyrical says, "What the frick uses PTO that doesn't roll over that you get in trouble for actually taking?" Friend 623 says, "You're not American, are you?" Brother Algier says, "True, sad and pathetic but very true." Molly Godiva says, "Your management are idiots. If they want to get rid of you, they just should and don't tell you the reasons. False reasons that can be proven to be false does no one good, and if discrimination was a factor they just screwed themselves." Fixlayer27 says, "This sounds like you set boundaries, and the company was uncomfortable with boundaries, because it means that can't micromanage and control you. Good on you for knowing your worth." Broadice7568 says, "I started a new job last year, in April. Our fiscal year ends June 15th. Because of when I started, I had 2 wellness days, 8 hours each, and a floating holiday I had to use before the fiscal year ended. My boss's boss gave me a bit of light-hearted shit about taking those days off. But hey, if I didn't use them, I'd lose them. It's not a benefit if you don't use it. I get $150 each year for new work boots, and I use all of that, whether I need new boots or not." Dapper Platform 1222 says, "Yeah, total unprofessional nonsense. Good for you on leaving." Led Fox says, "I also had a company tell me I couldn't take time off, so I walked away. I decide what I do with my time." Begofshenanigan says, "This company read Kafka and thought that sounds like a great way to run an organization." Techigua James says, "Apply for unemployment and use the write-up and the approval email." Plesanted7961 says, "They just wanted to get rid of you." That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.